The wind was biting cold across the plateau, a barren stretch of earth where every sound seemed to echo longer than it should, but she remained still, her breathing measured, her body pressed into the ground like a shadow. To the casual eye she looked like another stone scattered across the terrain, but behind the rifle's scope her heartbeat slowed, her pulse syncing with the rhythm of the earth itself. At 3,420 meters away, a figure moved, a speck to anyone else, but for her, every detail was sharp, every fraction of movement magnified. The shot she was about to take would not only test her skills but also her silence, for this wasn't just about pulling the trigger. This was about proving what had been whispered, doubted, and mocked in quiet corners of the military world, that she was a ghost forged by the division no one spoke about. Her story didn't begin here, though. It began years earlier, hidden deep inside the classified halls of a training facility the Navy itself didn't admit existed. The recruits called it the Ghost Division, a place where failures were not tolerated, and where only those who could endure the unthinkable walked out alive. She wasn't supposed to be there. A medic, drafted for her field expertise, her job was to heal, not kill. But after one mission left her unit decimated and her skills as a healer exhausted, she had made a vow: never again would she stand unarmed against the chaos of war. When the Ghost Division instructors saw her determination, they tested her harder than anyone else. She was made to crawl through swamps with no food for days, her body lashed by rain and mosquitoes, her mind deprived of sleep until reality blurred. Then came the sniper trials, tasks designed to break even the most hardened Marines. At first, they laughed at her, a medic with trembling hands trying to balance the weight of 8.50 caliber rifle. But when the final test came, she hit every target. Not just hit, it was as though the bullets carried her breath, curving against impossible winds, striking with precision that stunned even the instructors. Now, years later, crouched in the dirt, her training came alive again. She whispered into the comms, her voice barely audible. "Target at 3,420 meters. Silence answered her. The SEAL medic beside her shifted uneasily, his role supposed to be hers. "You're claiming you can make that shot?" he asked, his tone caught between awe and disbelief. She didn't reply immediately. Her finger grazed the trigger, feeling its texture, its weight. Finally, she whispered two words, words that froze the medic where he sat: Ghost Division. He had heard the rumors, the stories no one admitted were real. Operatives who didn't exist, missions erased from official records, kills that changed the course of wars without a trace. The target moved again, unaware that his life balanced on the edge of a breath. The distance was beyond what most considered possible. Snipers trained for years just to reach 2,000 meters with consistency. Anything beyond that was a miracle, or madness. But for her, this wasn't madness. This was destiny. She steadied her breathing, calculated the wind, the curvature of the earth, even the faint shimmer of heat rising from the barren soil. The medic, leaning closer, whispered again, "You've got one shot. If you miss, we're compromised." She didn't answer. The silence was louder than any reassurance could have been. She exhaled, squeezed the trigger, and the world seemed to hold its breath with her. The shot cracked across the plateau, invisible to the naked eye, a thunderclap swallowed by distance. Seconds stretched into lifetimes. At over 3 kilometers, the bullet was a comet racing against the Earth's pull, the wind trying to nudge it off course. Then, through her scope, she saw the impact. The figure collapsed instantly, the mission secured before the enemy could even sense danger. The medic gasped, his disbelief echoing louder than the shot itself. 3,420 meters, he muttered, shaking his head. That's impossible." She pulled back from the scope, her expression unreadable, her silence more chilling than pride. "Ghosts don't miss," she whispered, and then began dismantling her rifle with surgical precision, every motion practiced, rehearsed, perfected. But the record was not what defined her. What defined her was the price she paid to earn it. Memories clawed at her mind as they retreated to safety. The training, nights spent with bones aching, lungs screaming for air as instructors drowned recruits in freezing water, forcing them to either surrender or adapt. The missions, silent infiltration into enemy territory where her role as a medic shifted into that of executioner, where saving one life meant ending another. Every scar on her body told a story, but the scars no one could see, the ones buried deep inside her silence, were the ones that made her truly dangerous. Later, when reports filtered back, when higher command dismissed the numbers as exaggerated, the SEAL medic was the only witness who dared to tell the truth. "She made the shot," he insisted. "I saw it with my own eyes." She whispered Ghost Division before she pulled the trigger. Most dismissed it as legend, another campfire tale to inspire or haunt recruits. But some knew better. Some remembered the rumors of a hidden program, one that bred not soldiers, but phantoms. And she never spoke of it again. The record was hers, but the silence was her shield. To her, the number 3420 wasn't glory. It was the weight of every breath, every life, every shadow that had shaped her into what she had become. A medic who healed when she could, and when she could not, a ghost who ensured no one else would suffer as her comrades once had. The world would forget her name, her mission, her shot. But somewhere, in the silence of classified files and erased archives, the legend of the Ghost Division lived on, whispered by those who still wondered if she had ever been real at all.